good place for us to get started talking about enhancing your brand marketing using Christie's International Real Estate. So today I want to share a few tools with you. The magazine, some of our digital and Facebook ads, using some branded collateral opportunities that we have, and then also some options for keeping your brand top of mind as well. So we're going to start by talking about some brand marketing and then ways that you can kind of creatively keep that in the forefront for your sphere. As a reminder, if we have not met, I'm Ann Colvin, Vice President of Affiliate Services with Christie's International Real Estate. I believe I got to meet several of you when we were in Florida last week, and if I did not, hope to meet you next time, but thank you for joining us this morning. I know it's a busy time, so we do appreciate you joining us for our monthly office hours session. And I think that, this is going to reiterate a lot of what Mike was just talking about, but I do want to really reinforce some of the importance, I think, of brand and personal marketing. And, competition is very tight right now. Inventory can be tight. And of course, there's a lot of scrutiny on our industry. So your personal brand is really, really critical at this moment in time. You really want to get out there and showcase what it is that you bring to the table. And, I think that's whether or not you have a listing to showcase, you could always be showcasing yourself. The Christie's brand, the John R. Wood brand, they have recognition that will attract clients. So that's going to bring in that national, international, wide-ranging local appeal. But it's you and your brand that are really going to kind of lock those consumers in. And so I think you're really that final piece of the puzzle to really solidify that relationship and keep it going for the long term as well. One of the other things I would tell you about brand marketing and personal marketing is that one of the things that clients really want to know about you is that you are an authentic person. But even beyond that, and especially right now, they want to know that you're trustworthy, that you're experienced, and that you're ethical as well. Like, those are really important things in any kind of service provider, but especially in a real estate agent right now. And I think that if you can convey that via marketing, so if your marketing is really kind of true to you and it's authentic and it's consistent, that's a huge advantage that you have before you even meet those clients. And then, as I just mentioned, even if you don't have listings to market, I think you can always be marketing yourself and your brand. That's a great way to set you up for future listing success. It's a great way to kind of keep that consistency moving so that people recognize you and they begin to, kind of see you as a trusted resource. And that's a huge part of this business, right? It's a partnership with you and your clients. And so I think if you can really solidify that from a marketing standpoint, you're in a great, great place when someone is ready to buy or sell with you. So let's go ahead and jump right into some of the opportunities that we have for you to really showcase your brand and up your brand marketing game with Christie's International Real Estate. And the first one is one we've talked about a lot, but I think, it's a really powerful tool. It's one that actually I heard from a John R. Wood agent yesterday who's taking advantage of this, and it's a great opportunity to consider, and that's customizing the Christie's International Real Estate magazine. So the magazine, I'm sure you're all familiar with it now. The next issue that we have coming out is going to be a really special one for all of you. By the way, I want to plug that. There's some really great features on your market. And so it features the John R. Wood brand and your listings very heavily. So it's going to be a really exciting one for you all to share with your clients. It'll also then be a great one for you to customize as well, because I think there's a really great kind of double down factor there that you can take advantage of. The magazine itself is really designed to kind of demonstrate to your sphere that you are globally connected, that you're connected to the luxury lifestyle space, and it's a great way to keep your brand top of mind, especially if you take advantage of the custom version of the magazine. So if you are not yet familiar with the custom version of the Christie's International Real Estate magazine, the way that this works is you get all of the content that comes in the robust, regular version of the Christie's magazine. So all the beautiful editorial, the property ads, the travel articles, the high-end luxury brand advertising as well. So we've got all of the high-end travel and fashion brands that advertise in the magazine. And then you can customize it by putting a listing of yours on the cover. So it can be a current listing or it could be potentially a sold listing, as long as you still have access to those images. and a bound-in letter to help you promote your brand as well. So the bound-in letter, when you open the magazine, it's the first page, front and back, and that is yours to customize. Typically, what we see agents do is maybe a letter on that front side to their clients or to their sphere, kind of talking about whatever it is that you want to say about your business. And I think this is a great opportunity, right, to talk about the service that you bring to the table, the expertise that you have, your success in the market, whatever it is that can really kind of build your credibility and feature your brand. And then often what we'll see is on the backside, maybe a selection of your top listings, maybe your significant sales, but it's also kind of open to your creativity and your imagination as well. So we've had other agents who have done different things with it. I'll show you a couple of examples in a second. And then once you have customized the cover and customized that inside front page, that inside first page, front and back, we can either bulk ship those copies to you so you can use them at your discretion, maybe hand them out at open houses, at events. We have some agents who will order them and put them in like a holiday gift bag or something as part of what they're giving out to their community or to their top clients. Or we can distribute them or rather direct mail them to a list of your clients that you provide to us. So if you have a list of top clients or a list of a specific neighborhood, high net worth individuals throughout the country, it's totally up to you, but we can have those custom magazines direct mailed to your list. Typically, this takes about 3 to 4 weeks from the time that you start the customization process to the time that those magazines are delivered. And the rough cost here is about $7 per copy for the bulk shipping and about $10 per copy for direct mail. This may be new since the last time we talked about this, but there is no minimum copy commitment anymore. So for a while, we were requiring a minimum order of 100 copies, but you can actually opt into this piece now for significantly less. So we're working with a lot of agents who are ordering maybe 25 copies or 50 copies, which I think is much more reasonable. And especially if you really just have a very kind of small group that you want to target, this is a really great and affordable way to take advantage of this content and I think really showcase yourself seamlessly as a part of the Christie's brand. So here are two examples of covers, custom covers that we have done previously. So the one on the left, My Kind of Town, that's one of our top agents here in Chicago. That was one of her properties that she showcased on a custom version. And on the right side, Ultimate Luxury, that is a property in South Carolina, listed again by one of our top agents down in South Carolina. And both of them used this and had it direct mailed to their top clients. And then Damien on the right side, he also did a bulk shipping option and he used the magazine in some of his open houses and events that he was throwing at this listing as well. And then as far as the inside bound-in letter, we do have a form letter. So if you don't want to reinvent the wheel or get super creative, we do have a basic template that you can follow. So what you see here would be customized with your photo, your contact information. The body of the letter would be totally at your discretion, and it would be co-branded for John R. Wood and Christie's International Real Estate. So we do offer some really great starting points. So if you do feel intimidated by having to design something or kind of start from scratch, we do make it really easy for you to take advantage of this because we do have some great templates you can follow. You are not required to use this. However, like you'll see Damien, for example, when he decided to take advantage of the custom magazine for this trophy property of his, he really doubled down and he made that inside bound-in letter a front and back full ad for the property. So I think that's a great opportunity if you have a big listing. But again, if this is something you want to do for brand advertising, I think if you have run ads previously for yourself, you can totally reuse that creative. You can use this letter if you would like. And then maybe on the back side, this is where you do a selection of your, your top sales, or maybe you include testimonials. Maybe this is an opportunity for you to showcase your neighborhood expertise and you talk about what you love about where you live. I think there's a lot of ways that you can make this very creative, and it can be much more than just a listing advertising vehicle. And even if you do have a great property to advertise, I was talking to an agent up here in Lake Forest, which is one of our kind of very like old money old money suburbs here north of Chicago, and she has a very cool listing that she wanted to do some extra marketing for, but she was really stressing that, she wanted to be careful about her costs and she wanted something that would be evergreen. And so we talked about doing the magazine and how while she has this property to list, it's a great way for her to advertise the listing, put it on the cover, but then she can really use this custom version and get some more mileage out of it over the coming months, even after the property sells, because it's still a great vehicle for her to showcase her connection to Christie's, to showcase her expertise, her work in the luxury space. So I think that you can also make this work for you in a variety of different ways, and it doesn't have to be kind of a pigeonholed, it's either brand marketing or property marketing. You can really get creative with this. If you are interested in this piece, go ahead and you can either let your marketing team know, or you can reach out directly to me and I can let you know the list of assets we need to get the process started. But do consider this. I think this is a really special marketing option that we have, and something that you can really, I think, get a lot of mileage out of as well. All right. Let's move into the digital realm now. So that's, of course, a great print option. If you are looking to do something in the more in the digital space, one of the things that we love to talk about is taking those digital and Facebook ads that we typically offer for property marketing and repurpose those for yourself. So essentially, we have a great digital and Facebook ad program where you can sort of turnkey, excuse me, opt in one of your listings, and then that ad will show up on the Facebook pages or on the webs on various websites for folks who have expressed interest in the real estate market or in luxury real estate based on their internet searching and their Facebook liking. But you can actually kind of use that for yourself and market yourself to people as a luxury leader to your audience as well. And so these are ads that are branded for Christie's. So that gives you this kind of instant recognition and credibility as a luxury leader in the space. It can link back to the URL of your choice. So if you have your own website, I think that's a great opportunity. Or you all have a profile page on the Christie's International Real Estate website, so you could link back to that as well. And it also allows you, or forces you rather, to geo-target at least 3 markets. So if you have 3 feeder markets that you would like to target, usually they recommend like 5 to 8, I think is kind of the sweet spot there, not too many. But that's a great opportunity for you to get in front of folks who are possibly in your market and in some of your bigger feeder markets as well. And a great way to showcase you with the Christie's brand for people for whom that's kind of a relevant search term, right? So the pricing for this is for the digital ads, which will show up on various websites around the internet, 1 week for $99 or 2 weeks for $179. The Facebook campaigns will start at $179 for 1 week. If you are interested in taking advantage of this, you're going to find this in the resource gallery. And the resource gallery, you can access that from platform. So that's going to be under your platform tools menu. Once you click on that and you're on that homepage of the resource gallery, if you just scroll down kind of right below the fold, there's some quick access buttons. So click on Co-op Ad Portal, and that will take you to the Co-op Ad Portal, which is essentially where you can purchase any of our advertising. So that's the print ads, the digital ads, the James Edition upgrades, all of those are available here. It's a pretty simple process, but I want to walk you through this one specifically because we're sort of hacking this product since it is a tool that's really intended for property advertising. I'm going to show you how you can kind of bypass some of the typical steps to make it work for you. So once you're on this page, click on Create a New Ad. And that'll take you here, which gives you all of the different options that you can opt into. So for this in particular, you're going to click on either digital media or Facebook listing ads. So we'll go the digital realm right now, but both of these processes will be very, very similar. So click on digital ads. It will take you to this page where typically you're going to want to select one of your Christie's listings that are down here at the bottom. So any of your listings that are over $1 million will show up down here. So if you are doing a property ad, these are super easy because you just click this and it feeds in all of the property information. If you want it to be about advertising you, though, and promoting your own brand, we're going to bypass that and just click on continue. And so once you get here, this page will be totally blank because we haven't selected a property. So instead, we're going to feed in all of the assets and the information that this ad needs to make it about you instead of making it about your property. So under property name there, we're putting Kimberly's name in instead. Location, you could just say, Naples, Florida, but instead we're going to say your Naples luxury real estate expert. So we're going to give it a fun tagline instead. So you can get super creative with that. And then it's going to request 2 images from you. So in this instance, we uploaded Kimberly's headshot and then a team photo as well. You could do 2 of your headshots. Maybe it's one of your headshots and maybe it's a beautiful photo from your marketplace. Maybe it's one of your listing photos. You can get creative with that too. And whatever the images are that you think really speak to you and your brand. If you have your own logo as well, that might be an opportunity to put that in under image 2 as well. So totally up to you. And then once you preview it, you can see kind of what it starts to look like over here as it becomes built. And then on the next page, it's going to ask you to schedule your campaign. So you can start it as early as today, or you can schedule it out. It's totally up to you. But I did want to point out that you can also enter the link URL here as well. So this is where the ad will link back to when somebody clicks on it. So this is really your opportunity to direct the audience to wherever you want to send them. In this case, I put in Kimberly's agent page on the Christie site. But again, if you have a page on the John R. Wood site, if you have your own agent website, it's totally up to you. But I think, send it to somewhere where they can really learn more about you. Maybe you have a landing page or an about me or something like that. That's a great place to kind of direct them to learn more about you. And then below that is the geo-targeting. So this is where you can start, to figure out where you would like the audiences to be located that you want to reach with this ad. So again, it's a minimum of 3. I wouldn't recommend doing too many more than that because it does start to kind of dilute the pool of people that you're reaching. But I would say maybe around 5 is a really good sweet spot there. And then I should mention too, you can click on view layouts and this will show you what this ad looks like in a variety of different layouts. So whether it's like a banner on the side or whether it's the billboard layout, so you can see what your images look like in those various layouts. And if you aren't pleased with that, you can always go back and change the images so that you have one that you're totally satisfied with no matter how it's laid out. But then that's what you'll see. Like it'll show up on a, people.com or something. You'll see your ads start to show up there. And this is again for people whose search histories are a match for, luxury real estate or real estate in your market or something like that. So it's really targeting the folks that you want to reach based on whatever those geo-targeted markets are that you put in when you were setting the ad up. So we have some other digital advertising opportunities that are coming that will be available from a brand marketing perspective. But right now, I think this is a really great one that you can take advantage of. And especially if you don't have a listing to advertise right now, this is a great opportunity for you to get yourself out there and really kind of solidify yourself as a luxury expert and someone who has connections with that Christie's brand nationally, internationally as well. All right, and then to kind of tie those two together, let's talk about Creative Studio and some of the great branded collateral that you can do in Creative Studio. Creative Studio is a great opportunity to create custom or semi-custom beautiful marketing materials, both for digital purposes and also for print purposes as well. So there's a variety of different templates in here, and I think that you can have a lot of fun with Creative Studio. One of my colleagues has coined it Canva for Christie's, and I think that that's a really good way to describe it because it is a lot of kind of plug and play, beautiful templates you can take advantage of for any of your marketing needs. There's a lot of them in there, both from a Christie standpoint and from a John R. Wood standpoint as well, that you can take advantage of. And I just want to reiterate that it's not just listing brochures. I think a lot of folks go to Creative Studio just looking for some quick fix listing marketing, but I think if you start to look through there, there's a lot of great stuff you can take advantage of to market yourself too. And that's both from a print and digital standpoint. And we're going to look at both of those today. You can upload your own headshots, your own logo, use your own taglines, get super creative with this. There's a great stock photo library in there as well that you could take advantage of if you wanted to use some imagery that's not necessarily listing specific, but that's more kind of about your brand or your marketplace. And I love the idea of creating coordinating assets in there as well. So, you can get super creative and get in there and build a social campaign, and then maybe some postcards and brochures that all kind of work together to promote your brand. And you can also do that for a listing as well. But for the purposes of today, I think you'll see we have a lot of great opportunities for you to create this sort of multi-pronged brand marketing experience to help you tell this really beautiful brand story, whether it is in digital or print, or ideally both of them together, right? So the first thing I want to show you are the agent branding postcards. These are super simple, really elegant, I think, and a great way to tell the Christie's International real estate story and highlight your brand affiliation. So if you wanted to do something really simple, but I think really kind of with a high-end feel, this is a beautiful postcard campaign that you can take advantage of. There's a number of different templates that you can use that are kind of all about your affiliation with this brand. And there's a great little blurb on the back of it. It's very simple, very succinct, that talks about the power of this network and kind of introduces you as well. So it can be customized with your photo, with your logo, with your contact information, but really just talks about what it means to be a part of this global network of luxury real estate experts. And then the agent branding fold over mailers. This is one of my favorite pieces. And as you can see, I had some fun creating it for myself as well, as if I were an agent. But this is a great way, I think, to provide maybe like a deeper dive into who you are and a better introduction to you. There's a lot of editable fields here, and it is kind of guided. It shows you exactly what you should or could put in there, like a featured listing, for example. But you could kind of turn that on its head like I did here. And, instead of doing a featured listing, I did a neighborhood showcase instead. So if you wanted to kind of zoom out and talk more about your expertise, about your connections, make this more about you and your personal brand, I think it's very easy to do that. And this is a really beautiful, easy piece to take advantage of. There's, I think, a number of things that you could include here. Use this to introduce yourself. Maybe this is a great place to share some of the market trends and insights. Your company is great about providing those to you. And we also have, our Christie's market reports as well. So this is a great opportunity for you to share some of that expertise. Maybe highlight some of your favorite local businesses to really showcase how you are connected to your community. Tout your global network. We've got a lot of great Christie's info that you could pull in here. Promote the services you provide. We know that a lot of you are really more than just real estate agents, and you're very well connected, and you can provide a lot of other services for your clients. So this is a great way to showcase that. Highlight your buyer services as well. So I think this is an opportune time and a great way to talk about, what you're offering to your buyers and not just to sellers. And then also, of course, always a great way to showcase your significant sales, any success stories that you've had, testimonials. These are great things that you can include here in this really beautifully formatted piece that's so easy to edit. So I think this is a really fun one to do as a mailer, a great way to really kind of introduce you and all of the different ways that you are an expert, that you're a trusted service provider, and that you're well connected, kind of all in one piece. And then we have some great social media templates that you can use as well. So we have them available both for stories, which are these kind of more vertically oriented ones down here, and then also for like static posts as well. But this is a great way to engage your followers and again, talk about more than just listings. So it doesn't have to always be a post that's like new property or just sold. This could really be about you. It could be a beautiful branding campaign. It could be what you love about your market. I think there's a lot of different ways that you could take advantage of these. And this is again, in these bottom ones, for instance, where I had some fun with some of the stock imagery that we have available. So, I wanted to pick some images that talked about the market that I work in or talked about my connection to the luxury lifestyle space. And I think that those are all really fun and easy ways that you could take advantage of that. You create them, you save them, and you upload them right to your social media channels. So we're going to do like a 90-second Creative Studio tutorial. But if you are back in platform, under platform tools, Creative Studio has, its own little section here, but accessing Creative Studio, that's the top one there. You're going to want to click on that, and that will seamlessly log you into the Creative Studio portal. There are hundreds of different templates in Creative Studio. I like, for the purposes of our conversation today, if you go under category and you select agent branding, that's really going to filter down to some of the pieces that are designed to showcase you versus showcasing your listings. And then one of my kind of top tips is, one of the first times, or when you have a little bit of extra time, go into the image manager and upload some of your kind of go-to items, whether it's your logo, whether it's your different headshots, a couple of kind of go-to images that you have those uploaded here so that you can have those at the ready when you're going to customize your items, and they will save here so you can just continue pulling from them, which I think makes your life a lot easier. And then you'll have an opportunity to go through and customize all of your pieces. We won't go through that in too much detail today, but what I wanted to share with you is once you're done with those, you have a couple of opportunities of kind of how you want to finish the pieces that you're working with. So you can either click on order prints, which is going to take you to Express Docs to order the printed versions of those pieces, or click on share, and you can share to a variety of different social media channels, get links to these things, or download right here, and then you can save the files for a later date or however you want to use them at that point in time. And then I mentioned stock images, so I just did want to point that out as well. There is a stock image option here. If you click on that, you can search for basically whatever you want. So again, if you wanted to kind of branch out beyond listing photos or photos of yourself, you can find some great things to use here as well. All right. So those are, I think, some of the best options that we have for some brand marketing pieces. And now I want to share some fun ways to kind of, again, continue using Christie's resources, but to keep your brand top of mind. And the first one is sharing your brand marketing via QR code. This was kind of a fun thing that we talked about at a lot of the meetings that we did at John R. Wood last week. And I wanted to kind of do a deeper dive into this because I think that this is a very cool tool that you all have at your disposal. And I wanted to show you an example of how I use that for my pretend brand marketing that I'm doing here. So this QR code is actually live. You can all use your phones and scan that right now. And that will take you to a beautiful branded piece that I created for myself in Creative Studio with the help of some Chat GPT testimonials that I created. But it will hopefully give you a little inspiration for some of the ways that you can use the QR code. As a reminder, a QR code is a really simple way to kind of guide your audience to anything that lives on a URL. You can create a custom QR code in platform, and you can use that to direct your clients to your digital brand marketing, and it's super easy to do. I think that there's a lot of ways you can use that QR code. You can put it in your email signature, put it on a print brochure, put it on a postcard. That's a great way to basically help somebody learn more, right? So if you're giving them a taste of who you are on a postcard, put that QR code on there and then have that QR code go to your website where they can learn so much more about you. You can also design a marketing piece in Creative Studio, which is what I did for our purposes today, publish it to the web, and then link it to a QR code that you create. And so I want to show you how I did that because I thought that was kind of a fun and different way that we can use Creative Studio and also in conjunction with the QR code as well. So if we're back in Creative Studio, I used the agent bio flyer template. So I used this, which is basically, it's kind of similar to that fold over mailer that I showed you, but it's really just kind of a 2-page piece, or it can be multiple, but I use just the 2-page option with a bio for myself, and then my fake testimonials were on page 2. So once I've gone through here and customized the entire thing, I'm going to click on share in the top right-hand corner. And that'll take me to this page where you can click on publish on the web. So instead of printing this, or instead of, sharing this to an email or to social media, I'm actually going to publish this, and it's going to get its own URL. And that's the URL that I'm going to use to connect to the QR code. And so once you're done, you can click on done. You can also click unpublish, which I will do after we're done with our presentation here today. But for now, this is live on the web, and if you scanned that QR code, you should be able to see it. And I'm going to go back to platform now. And in platform, I'm going to click on the QR code generator. And this is a really fun way to really kind of get connected with all of your marketing. When you're creating the QR code, you're going to start up here with enter your URL. And that's where I'm going to paste the URL from Creative Studio. And you can name it whatever you want. The name is really for your kind of organizational purposes because it's going to show up down here. So I decided to make it really easy, and I called it Ann Coleman BioFlyer. And then once you click on generate, it's going to generate the QR code for you, which you can then save on your computer, and you can essentially copy and paste it or insert it into anything that you want to at that point. So this is that same QR code that we just used, and this will link you directly to that BioFlyer, which is now published on the web. And then once you've saved it, once you've generated it, it's going to remain here in your list of QR codes. So as you continue to create QR codes, they're all going to show up here in your list. You can see when you created them, you can see what you named them, etc. So this is a great way to keep yourself organized and make sure that you kind of know which ones you're working with and what code leads to what exactly. But I think you can have a lot of fun with this. We've talked about using this at open houses. We've talked about using it at events, putting it on your print marketing. I think there's a number of ways that you can make this work for you, but I think it's a really kind of powerful way when you want to give somebody just a taste of who you are, especially in like a print piece, and then have them find out more about you or really kind of capture them. This is a great way to do that. Which leads me to our next piece, which is our custom lead forms. And I think this is another really fun new tool and a great way for you to get in front of your clients and I think help promote your services and tee that up so that you can really continue feeding that brand marketing information to your clients. So when it comes to creating a custom lead form, I think, this is a great way to connect the dots of your marketing, right? So you've got beautiful brand marketing, but you need to target an audience with it. But none of that really matters unless you're capturing that audience, right? And I think this is a great way to kind of put it all together. So you can create custom lead forms in platform, and it's a great way to sort of seamlessly collect all that customer contact information. And you can get super creative about it. It doesn't just have to be like, sign up for my newsletter. I think there's a lot of different ways that you can connect with your clients this way. You can customize the messaging, whatever questions you want to ask them. You can automate the follow-up, and all of that can be done right from platform. The customer details, once somebody submits one of those forms, it flows right into your CRM to make it really easy for you to follow up with your clients right from platform as well. You can also connect that form to a QR code as well. So this is, again, another kind of fun way that you could make this a full circle piece, right? You could use a QR code that takes you to a custom lead form. Somebody enters their information and then it goes to your CRM. So it's a great way to kind of close the loop on collecting those details. So how can you use a custom lead form? I think that there's a number of different ways that you could really put this product to use. You can use it to maybe have clients find out what is the value of their home, to sign up for updates about listings in their area, share news from the auction house with them. Maybe it's to get your newsletter, which has great features about local businesses that you love. Or if someone has items of value to consider selling at auction, this is a great way for them to, submit an inquiry to you about that as well. Lots of possibilities. So under platform tools, there is an option called custom lead forms. You'll see that right there on the left-hand side. Click on that, and that'll take you here where you will click on the add new button in the top right. First, you want to name your form. So again, name this something that you're going to remember. So this is my Let's Keep in Touch form. So something pretty simple and basic here, but we're going to name it that and then save it. And then it's going to prompt you to customize the entire thing. So you can decide if you would like it to send an automated follow-up email. You can decide what that form message says. So all of the messaging here is really at your discretion. You can also determine where that information goes once somebody submits a form as well. So it will go to your CRM, but you can also assign it to a specific farm as well. I'm going to mention one of my colleagues. So one of my colleagues, Liz, was hosting a birthday party for her son, and she actually used the custom lead form as the RSVP form for her kids' friends that they invited, and they created a farm that was named after her son. And so that was the way that she sort of collected all that information and then organized it in her CRM. So that's obviously not a real estate way to use it, but just I think an example of how you can get creative and use this for a number of different things. The questions, it's going to give you a couple of fields that are sort of automatic. So that's basically name and all these contact information fields. And you can determine if those are shown and if someone is required to fill those out before they submit the form to you. And then below that, you can start adding additional questions as well. So the question text is totally up to you. And then you can determine if you want them to respond with a text answer, with a yes or no, or if it becomes a multiple choice answer as well. So you've got some great options here, almost like a Survey Monkey, if you've ever used that resource before. It's kind of similar to that. And so you can start building those things and then click add when you're all done. And that will be added to your form. And then once you are kind of good with the way everything looks here, you can click save at the bottom, and then your form is complete. And then this is what it looks like. You have some options to change. We have some great stock images you can use here to change that if you aren't satisfied with that. But all of this was, customized by me. This message, the headline, how can I assist you, and these different multiple choice options. This was all information that I decided to put in here. And so I think the point of this is, this is a great way to capture new clients or capture clients you already have and find out what they're interested in so that you can then go back and target them, whether it is with that magazine or with an ad or send them a postcard. But I think this is a great way to kind of close the loop again on the communications that you're sending when it comes to your personal marketing. So once my client has completed this form and submitted it, I'm back in my CRM, and then this is where it will start to collect those details. So that's where you'll start to see these things show up, and then you can really kind of keep tabs on who's using that form and what they're interested in hearing from you, or whatever the question was that you decided to ask them in that contact form. And then we're going to finish it up with two of my favorite tools, easy ones, but tools that I think are kind of no-brainer additions to your brand marketing strategy and ways that you can continue kind of bolstering what you're already doing for yourself, but from a Christie's point of view. So the first one is See Social. I hope you have all downloaded this at this point, because I think I tell you every time we meet that you should download this to your smartphone. But if you haven't, please do. You can download it in the App Store or the Google Play Store, and you can use that boomerang code at the bottom. But this is a great app that lives on your phone and essentially is kind of a one-stop shop for pre-created Christie's content that you can just share right to your social media channels. So if you wanted to add content that was beyond your listings, yourself, your local market, this is a great way to really kind of enhance that, because we've got some beautiful templates and beautiful content in here that features what's happening with the auction house, highlighting new affiliates and expansions to the Christie's International Real Estate Network. Also great stats and links to our new research. So I think this is a really great way to kind of round out your social media presence and to start to tell your clients about kind of these extra layers that you have to offer to what you bring to the table beyond your local expertise and your local successes. And then Content Hub is kind of an expanded version, I think, is how I would describe it, of C Social. So Content Hub actually lives in Platform. So instead of being an app on your phone, this is part of Platform, and it's a central location for lots of different social media assets. And this is a great way, again, to appeal to high net worth consumers and really kind of build on what you're already posting from a content point of view to your social media channels. So these assets are a little bit more robust than what you'll find in C Social. So you will find most of the same things. In addition, you'll find a lot of more kind of interactive and video content here. We share all of our luxury defined blog posts here as well as social posts. So that's some great content that you can share to really kind of fill in the gaps of your own social posting. That features things like global properties, market insights, design focus posts. And then you'll find all of our kind of standard things as well: holiday assets, general Christie's branding, and then assets from your company as well are available here. And those things can be either directly shared to social media. So like a LinkedIn, this is a great place to share to LinkedIn, or you can download them and share them directly from your device as well. So let's finish it up with some next steps. So I think creating the Christie's International Real Estate Magazine to share your brand messaging is such a powerful tool. And I know that it's an investment, but it is something that I would recommend if you really are looking, or maybe even planning, for the beginning of next year or something in part of your business plan, um, to really kind of step up your marketing game. I think that's a really powerful way to do it. A great way to reach top clients, a great way to target specific neighborhoods. If you have access to high net worth client data, it's a great way to target those folks as well. I also always recommend, collecting your kind of go-to assets for Creative Studio, your best high-res headshots, any local imagery that you love, listing images that of your previous properties or current properties that you think are your best representation of your portfolio. Save them in your own dedicated folder for branding projects, because I don't know about you, but sometimes when I get busy, I end up with things just saved all over the place on my desktop, and it becomes a wild ride trying to figure out where I saved something. But I think that if you can kind of keep yourselves organized, that's a really great way to um, save you some time and some frustration when it comes to time to create something like this. If you've got them all in like a branding folder, personal branding, whatever it is, that will make your life easier. Make it even easier if you actually go into Creative Studio and upload them and just have them saved there, because that's kind of your next step of this process. I also always recommend setting aside some time to experiment with Creative Studio and all the templates that are there. There's nothing worse than jumping in there when you have like 5 minutes to make a listing brochure or something and you have no idea what you're doing. So if you can find that extra time to just go in there and experiment and play around, maybe create some templates, I think that will really kind of build your confidence in using that tool. Especially because I know that it is different from what you all were using previously. So I think the more time you can spend in there kind of getting used to it, the more kind of intuitive that product becomes for you to use, especially when you're in a time crunch. I would also love for you all to create a QR code and link it to your website or your agent page, or the Christie's International Real Estate site. Share it with your sphere via email or social media. I think that this is such a powerful marketing tool, and it's actually very simple, but it's such a great way to really kind of connect the dots for your marketing, especially if you're going from a print to digital. It's such a great way to do that. So really consider using that and figuring out different ways that could become part of your marketing strategy. I'm going to plug it one more time. Download C Social to your smartphone. The Boomerang code is right there for you if you need it. The Boomerang code will be used for any of the co-branded templates that we have in C Social. So anything where the John R. Wood logo could potentially show up, you need to put that number in there so that those things become co-branded. And then consider launching a digital or Facebook branding campaign. It's so quick, it's so easy, it's really affordable. I think a great way, if you're in kind of a lull and you need to kind of build some more momentum, That's a great thing to consider because it is really affordable and it's really easy to take advantage of. So consider playing around with that as well. And then, as always, join us for our next training, which is October. And that is crazy to think about, but look forward to seeing you then.
Wow, it'll be fall, right?
I can't even believe that. I mean, the fact that it's September right now is kind of blowing my mind. But yeah, we're approaching the end of the year already, which is crazy to think about.
So Ann, up your way, you know it's fall when the color of the leaves start to change. Down here, we know it's fall when the color of the license plates start to
That makes
change.
sense. Yeah, when it becomes quiet up here because all the smart people have come down there to see you all, right?
Everybody from everywhere else just comes here.
Exactly. That's so funny. I was wondering how you all know when the seasons change. Yes.
But great stuff. I mean, there's some real takeaways here, everybody. I mean, and by the way, we're going to get the recording of this out to
Yep.
you as soon as we can, and some summary of the takeaways. But you know, I hope you all attended the training last week for the CRM. If you didn't, no worries. We're going to come around to your offices. We're going to do training on that and on Creative Studio, so a bonus there. But you know, that lead form, that custom lead form and the QR and those things, I mean, it just kind of, to me, that kind of drives home how cool this CRM is. It's
Hmm.
CRM is at the center of platform, and surrounding that are all these tools that feed into that. And it's also easy to use. So get in there, start playing around. More training to come on all of these things. Creative Studio, and I mean, you really enlightened me on the agent assets. I mean, we think of it as, I think we tend to think of it as postcards for
Always.
things, right?
Yes. Hmm.
I went there, I was listening, and I went there and I went to that agent branding.
There's
There's
so much good stuff there, right?
there's social announcements. If you just join the company, there's a
Yes.
social announcement. I just joined John R. with Christie's. It's totally branded, takes like a minute to do. One other tidbit there, though. So I also, separately from going to category agent branding, uncheck that, go to asset type. So write this down in Creative Studio. If you're exploring, go to asset type and go to presentation materials. There's some additional stuff in there. And one is a marketing plan.
That's my
So,
favorite one, Mike. That's my
yeah.
favorite
So
piece in there.
so James and his marketing team created two templates for you. One is up to 1 million and one is 1 million and up, because the marketing is a little different. You can completely customize that. Now, when you are prepping for a listing appointment, you can send that, you can bring it, you can print it, however you want to do it. You've actually got a marketing plan to present to the seller.
I love that. Yeah, there's so much good stuff. And I think, I also think that you can just look at those templates also as sort of a jumping off point. It might say that it's one thing, but depending on what you can edit in there, you can really make those templates work for you in a number of different ways. So, yeah, I think Creative Studio, there's so many opportunities there for you to take advantage of. And I think to Mike's point too, we're getting to a point now where we're rolling out a lot of new tools for you all, and hopefully you can kind of connect the dots now and see how they all have started to work together as well. And I think that's a really fun thing about this suite of technology and the suite of services is that they all start to kind of work together, which Kathy actually just asked a question, can you create the custom lead form as a postcard mailer? Not directly. So the custom lead form is an online form, but what you could do is create a QR code that you put on your postcard, right? That would, if you scan that QR code, it would take you to the digital custom lead form that you could fill out and then send in. So I think there's lots of ways you can connect these things and make them all work depending on what your situation or your need is, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly it. I mean, the short answer for Kathy is yes, you can. It
Yes,
have to
yes.
be a QR or a link so they could go navigate to it, electronically separate from the postcard. But you could have one centralized form sitting in platform, your custom lead form, but then you've got a QR coming in from postcard mailings and other, at an open house, you may have it up, a little sign with it up, sign up for my newsletter, something like that through that same QR. So
Yeah.
you've got, through all these mechanisms, leads feeding into that same form. That's
Or
the
like what if, yeah, and you could even use, I'm thinking like that custom lead form, like you could put it in your social. Maybe you do a poll. Maybe it's like, what's your favorite design trend? And it's 4 trends or something. And as soon as you've got those people voting, you're collecting their info in your CRM, right? So I think there's so many fun ways you can use it. I'm using it personally. You guys are going to see it soon for some networking groups. We're going to use it as kind of the sign up form for some global networking groups that we're doing. So I think it's you're not limited really. You know, I think that there's so many different cool, fun ways that you could use that lead form beyond just sign up for my newsletter or sign up for updates. I think that you can get really creative. Obviously you can use it for that. I think that's, you know, that's kind of the standard option, but have fun with it. I think that there's a lot of really fun ways that you can use that resource.
Yeah, I think the key on something like that, Anne, is really think outside the box. I mean, I got to admit, when I first heard about the lead form idea, I just thought, I'm not sure how I would use that. But
Right.
as I really thought about it, and I was inspired by some ideas that I saw, I thought, oh my God, how could I not use it?
Yeah, it's really fun. And the fact that, you know, Liz used it to collect RSVPs for a birthday party. Like there's really so many ways you could do, you know, RSVPs for an open house event, you know, an event at a property. I think that you could do it a number of different ways that you could use that. But I think the bottom line is it helps you collect that really important data, and you just need to be prepared then to follow up with all those folks with some of this great marketing. And I think that we've got a lot of options here for you.
And QRs, folks, QRs are back, right? So they were kind of cool at first, then they were like, they're kind of ugly, right? And somehow they're back and they're cool again. And I think that the sort of round one that you guys provide in with the C in the middle is actually, I think it's cool looking. I mean, we think of them sometimes as the old square ones are ugly, but the Christie's one is cool.
And yeah, and I think there are ways that you can kind of include it in your marketing. So it doesn't have to be some like big fat, you know, so it can be kind of tastefully included there.
That's right.
So it doesn't have to really kind of take over your marketing, right? Or be the center. I remember when they first came out too, it was like the centerpiece of a sign. And like that's not really what
Yeah.
you want in your yard. But I think there are ways now that we have figured workarounds out to make them look a little more tastefully done. But they are just, I think, a really powerful marketing tool for sure.
Yeah, it can actually complement your marketing and be
Hmm.
true lead generation with your marketing, actual lead generation built into a postcard. And that's just a cool idea.
Absolutely. Any other questions? We got some more questions about font, but I think that you were handling those, Mike, or
Yeah, I respond. Also,
yeah.
I'll just put it
Perfect.
out there. So, occasionally we get the question, gee, I can't quite, change the font or customize it. So what you do is there's a way in any of your projects, is at the upper right, there's a share button. You go to collaborate, you choose your John Irwood graphic designer. Now they can get into that project and they can help you with if they need to unlock something or work with you to get it the way you want. That can happen. We've got people here who are professionals at it that actually can assist you, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, you know, the kind of underlying theme there too is that a lot of those fonts have been chosen to be, you know, kind of consistent with Christie's or John Irwood brand standards too. So there's a method to the madness there as well. So don't drive
That's
yourselves too
important.
crazy trying to change all of those things
Yeah,
as
keep
well.
keep that in
Yeah.
mind. Exactly, and that's a good point. And by the way, we're talking about Creative Studio, if we didn't make that clear. It's important because all of the other materials you're going to bring to that appointment or that you're putting out there, it is important that there's consistency there. So
Hmm.
so bear that in mind.
Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Mike.
You're welcome. Thank
PowerPoint
you.
cooperated. I'm pretty sure it's gonna go update right now, but we made it to the 10 a.m. mark. So I'm appreciative of the Microsoft folks
Right
today.
on the
Yes.
money.
Thank
All
you,
right. Well,
everyone.
thank you, and thanks everybody. Again, we will get this recording out as soon as we can, and we will look forward to our first fall edition of
So
Office
crazy.
Hours next month.
I will see you all in October.
See you then. Thanks, Ann. Thanks,
Thank
everybody.
you.
Thank you.